Hello all and welcome back to our channel. So in this video, we'll be discussing about Odoo 14 accounting. Accounting is an inevitable process for a company or an organization. So for the smooth running of the business of a company, accounting precision is an indispensable factor. Any simple error that may happen can adversely affect the financial stability of the company. Thus, accounting must be the utmost precision. Today, many software are available to ease the accounting process, and if it's an ERP, it's even better. So, Autofortin Accounting has many features that make it user-friendly and capable accounting software. So, let's discuss the functionality and features of accounting module. So, let's open our accounting. And when you get into accounting module, you can see an accounting dashboard, which contains an onboard panel. So in onboard panel, you can see we can create your first bill. If you're new to accounting, you can use this to create your first bill. So digitalize your web vendor bills with OCR and artificial intelligence, which is integrated in Odoo 14. And you can see we can create set up your bank account to synchronize bank feeds. Then we can create accounting periods. We can define your fiscal years and tax returns periodicity. So we can fiscal define fiscal year, that is the financial year for your company. Then we can set configure chart of accounts and record initial balance. So if you don't want to see this, you can close this onboarding panel from here. And below you can see all the journals, created journals that like tax invoices, vendor bills, miscellaneous operations, then bank, then we can see cash journal, then sales journal, then you can see point of sale, salaries, expense journal. So it is possible to see some details for each journal in the dashboard. Here you can see number of invoices to validate in case of tax invoices, then number of unpaid invoices, the amount is shown here. Then if there are any residual amount, if there is any due, then you can see the graph here. Then for vendables also you can see the residual amount. So we have a graph here, and you can see number of bills to validate and number of expenses to process. And it is possible to upload and create manually vendor bills. And for invoices also we can create tax invoices. And so for each journal you can create entries from here. So you can see in the case of cash journal we have two items to be reconciled, and you can see the latest statement. Then for our bank, you can see the outstanding payments and receipt. That is payments not yet paid by the due date. So you can see if you click on this outstanding payments or receipts, you can see a report here, posted entries. So the total balance of bank, and you can see the outstanding payments receipts, and the outstanding receipts and payments are shown separately. So you can see the amount here and the total outstanding payments or receipts. So it is possible to print the XLS of this report. Then here you can see below that is it is already filtered by favorites. So these are journals added to favorites, and when you disable this, you can see all the journals. So here exchange difference, it is possible to add to favorites. So when you click on this, you can add that journal to favorite, and you can also see some details like for all journals. When you click on this, you can see view, that is we can view invoices, credit notes, payment matching and journal items for this journal. And you can create new invoice, credit notes and upload invoices. Then it is possible to have a reporting for your invoices, that is invoice analysis, age receivables, follow-up reports. So we'll be discussing about these things later in this video. Then you can also set color for your journal from here in the dashboard. And for configuring the tag journal, you can just click on this configuration. And here under configuration also you can find option to configure journals. So under account you can find the option to configure journals. So before that, let's go to configuration settings. and see there we can see a lot of features, lot of options. So we can set option for company counting features. Mhm. So here you can see default taxes. You can set a default tax for your company, like including sales tax and purchase tax. So here you can see GST 5% is set for your local transactions, default tax for local transactions. And if you have set tax for your product, then priority will be given to product. And if you haven't set for your product but you have set for your account, then the account tax will be taken. So highest priority is given to product tax. Then here you can see tax return periodicity. So we can set how often returns have to be made. It can be done periodically, that is monthly, annually. You can see a lot of options here. Then reminder can be set 7 days or some days after period. Then we can set journal here for tax return periodicity. So I've already set as miscellaneous operation, which handles this. Then when you set that, you can configure your tax accounts. Then you can see an option for setting rounding method. So how total tax amount is computed in orders and invoices. So it is recommended to choose the first option when you are using, that is included. When your prices are tax included, it is recommended to use the first option, that is round per line. Then you can set tax cloud, compute tax rates based on US zip codes. Then here also you can see a lot of options like EU digital goods VAT, then verify VAT numbers. Then you can see cash basis option, which allows to configure tax using cash basis. So select this if the tax should use cash basis, which will create entry for such taxes on a given account during reconciliation. Then you can see fiscal country. You can set fiscal country for your company, that is so if you set a country here, then only the tax reports associated with to that country will be available. So I have to install localization from App Store. Then you can see that. Then here you can see option, that is multi currencies. So when you enable multi currencies, we can handle multiple currencies. We can activate currencies and we can set rates on currencies on different dates. So when you enable this, you can see option to activate other currencies. And here we can set a main currency for your company from available list. And you have to set post exchange difference entries. So for that, we can see three fields. That is, we have to set journal, exchange, that is journal, currency exchange journal. So accounting journal where automatic exchange differences will be registered. Then we can see gain account and loss account. And you can also see an option to automate currency rates. So we can update exchange rate automatically. So here we can set a service bank, then interval. That is, it can be done daily, weekly, monthly, or manually. So when you set manually, you can see an option to set next run. You can set a date here, and it is also possible to run now. That is, we can update now. So we have done a detailed video on this multi currencies. You can check that. Then you can see customer invoices. So for that, we have a lot of options like default sending options. We can print, send email, send by post. So just click on the options you need. Then here you can see snail mail, that is send invoices, payment, follow ups by post. So for that also you can see a lot of options. Then we can set default terms and conditions on invoices or orders. Then here you can see line tab subtotals tax display. So tax need to be displayed in what basis, in what way. So here we see two options, excluded and tax included. That is, we can include the tax in the price of the product or service. And also we have an option to show the exclude tax separately without including in the price. Then you can see an option to set warnings when invoicing specific customers. So we can set warnings or blocking messages for mm, to create invoice for a customer. Then here you can see cash rounding. So it is used to define the smallest coinage of currency used to pay by cash. That is, we can round amount that is currency. So when you enable that option, you can configure cash roundings, create cash roundings, and then use in your invoice lines. So for that also we have done a detailed video. Then you can see Insta stat to collect information and produce statistics on trade in goods. Then you can see sales received to activate to create sales received. Then you can see option to manage reseller, which is related to e-commerce. So we can use this if set up with reseller e-commerce. Then we have option section for customer payments. You can make, that is, customer can pay the invoices online. And then we have batch payments, that is to group payments to a single batch and easy reconciliation process. So we can batch our invoices or vendor bills, and we can group them together and make the reconciliation in a very fast way. And here you can see option for SCPA direct debit. So then it is possible to add payment QR code to your invoices. And here we have section for vendor bills, that is for here we have option for bill digitalization, that is digitalize your scanned or PDF vendor bills with OCR and artificial intelligence. So we have, for that we have three options, that is do not digitalize bills on demand, digitalize all bills automatically. So for that we have to buy credits. Can go from here through by clicking this and buy credits. Then you can see OCR single invoice line per tax. That is to get only one invoice per tax. Then you can see option for enabling purchase receipt to activate to create purchase receipt. Then we have option for predict vendor bills. Then here we have an option to predict the accounts on vendor bill lines based on history of previous bills if you haven't set accounts. Then you have an option for vendor payments where we can print checks to pay your vendors, and also for that also we have SCPA credit transfer option. Then you can set some settings for your bank and cash. So you can see the transfer account, that is for India bank's transfers, and automatic import, that is to import bank statements automatically. And we have option for like can import the CSV file, that is in CS bank statements in CSV file, OFX file, and you can see QIF. Then a lot of options. Then here we have an option that is Anglo-Saxon accounting. So you can record cost of goods sold in your journal items. So in accounting, we have two types of, that is, we have basically two types of accounting, that is Anglo-Saxon and continental. So in case of continental accounting, the expense account is affected at the time of purchase. But in the case of Anglo-Saxon, the expense account is affected only after processing a sale order. That is after purchasing purchasing, and then we have to create a sale order. Then only the amount will be account will be affected. Expense account will be affected. Okay, so cost of good sold are reported when products are sold or delivered. So by default, for our accounting, Continental will be enabled. And if you want to enable this, you can just check this. Okay, I'm not doing it right now. Then you can see our fiscal periods where we can set our financial year, that is fiscal year for our company. So you can see the last day is December 31. You can change from here. Then here you can see the fiscal years, define fiscal years of more or less than 1 year. So when you just click on this, we can configure that. Then here, invoicing switch threshold. That is, invoicing up to date will be taken into account as accounting entries. So here we can set a invoicing switch threshold. Then here below we can see analytics section where we can define enable analytical accounting, that is, and analytical tags for your. So analytical account in Odoo, it is to analyze a particular or filter particular accounts without posting journal entry. So for analytical account, we have analytical account entries, and in Odoo, we use analytical account instead of a cost center in Tally. So we can use it to filter a product or service expense details, analyze the cost of a company, also in budgets and assets. So if you are starting a new project, so we can track costs and revenues for that project or department. For example, if you want to know the expense details of one product from the expense of your total products, we can set new analytical account for that, particularly for that product. So when invoicing, the analytical account will not create a journal entry, and in our analytical account, we can see the particular product payment. That is, the main account was not affected by the analytical account. So especially separately, you can see some entries for product as analytical entries, and you can see option that is analytical tag. So which allows to tag analytical entries and to manage analytical distributions. So it is mainly used for dividing your expense or income among several analytical accounts. So you can create tags and assign for your account. Then we have budget management. So you can use budgets to compare actual with expected revenues and cost. So it is a very important factor for a business organization. Using budget, we can analyze the performance of a company by comparing the actual amount spent and planned expenditure. And it is also possible to set analytical account for your budget. Then we have margin analysis in order to monitor your product margins from invoice. Okay, then finally we have reporting section where we can add totals below sections. So when ticked, that allows that is totals and subtotals appear below the sections of the report. So after enabling the required options, you can save this. So when you save your settings, and according to the options enabled in settings, you can see a lot of options for configuration. You can see under configuration, that is for invoicing, then related to banks, accounting, payments, and management and legal accounting. So here you can see our payment terms related to invoicing. So we can define a payment terms or some agreement or condition, that is when the payment will be done. So when you create an invoice, customer invoice, you can define a lot of we can select a lot of payment terms when you configure from here. So you can see there are some pre-configured payment terms like immediate payment. They can see within some days, and some amount will be paid now, that percentage will be paid now, and the balance will be paid within some days. So when you choose one, you can see that you can see the payment term name. Then you can see the description of the invoice. Then you can add lines here. So lines can be like, you can add balance, and it is possible to add percentage. So here when you edit, you can see we have added two lines. That is, one is 30% will be paid now, and balance will be paid within some days. So we have done a detailed video on this payment terms in accounting. You can check that video. Then here we have option to create follow-up levels. So here we can create payment follow-ups, that is follow-up levels for your customer follow-up reports. That is under customers, you can find a menu that is to view the follow-up reports. So using this, we can send reminders to customers regarding the late payments. That is due date, invoice due date, and the total amount need to be paid by the customer. So here you can see it is filtered by default as follow-up reports in need of action, then customer invoices. So here we can define levels. That is, we can send first reminder email, second reminder email to customers. So for each follow-up level, we can set some actions like sending SMS, sending letter, and also we can define manual actions. Manual action. So in enable manual action, we have an option for setting manual action. And we can also auto execute this option, and that is follow up reminders. And we can also create automatic activity scheduling for your follow up reports. That can be set in your tax invoices. That is, we can plan or schedule activities automatically on the due date of on the invoice due date. Then so we have done a separate video for that, so you can check that. That is auto activity scheduling for customer follow reports. Then here we have option to configure Incoterms, that is international commercial terms. So these international commercial terms are set of rules which defines the responsibility of sellers and buyers for the delivery of goods under sales contract. So you can see there are a lot of Incoterms configured with code and name. So you can create new Incoterms by clicking this. Here under configuration, we can find option for adding bank account. So when you click on this, you can see option to select bank account, or we can create new bank account. That is, here we can find option to create new account, and can add account number, bank and bank identification code, and create new one. Then here we have an option to see reconciliation models. So, once the bank statements are correctly imported or created, it is essential to reconcile records properly and ensure all journal entries are balanced and in agreement. So, to speed up this, reconciliation process can be created, and you can configure reconciliation models which are particularly useful with recurrent entries such as bank fees. So reconciliation can be done in a very fast way. So you can see one reconciliation model is created, invoices matching rule. So when you open this, you can see some details like type, then company, then we can auto validate it. Then you can see conditions, set conditions on bank statement line, and we can set partner mapping. Then when you come under accounting, you can see under actions reconciliation. So you can create reconciliation, and that is can reconcile invoices and payments, and we can click reconcile. So it allows you to match payments with the corresponding invoices and confirms that accounts in the general ledger are consistent, accurate, and complete. So matching your bank statement with your accounting records can be a tedious task. So you need to find the corresponding invoices, compare the accounts, amounts, and partners details in those in the with those in the bank statement. So there are different ways to reconcile that. That is, we can directly specify the prepayment on invoice. That is to register payment, and so when you come to customer and when you create invoice. And here just register payment. So when a customer made the payment, you can register that. So payment is created. Now when you come below here, you can see an icon. So when you click on this, you can see that automatically reconciliation invoice has been paid and reconciliation is done. So you can see the payment journal here, and it is also possible to unreconcile. So this is how from invoice we can directly uh, reconciliation. Then we can reconcile open invoices with bank statements. That is, we can create bank statements and reconcile them. So we have done a detailed video on reconciliation model. You can check that. Then we have online synchronization. So Odoo can synchronize directly with your bank to get all bank statements import automatically to your database. So there are a lot of countries which are fully supported, including US, Canada, New Zealand, Austria, and Belgium. And there are also a lot of countries that are partially supporting this one. Then here you can find chart of accounts. So we can configure a list of accounts for your company. That is, it is included in accounting field which deals with balance sheet, profit and loss. So we have some pre-configured accounts when you install your localization. So you can see the code of the account, then the account name, then type, whether it is income, expense. So when you set up, click setup, you can see the type here. So I'm editing this one. So you can see a lot of type you can see here. That is, we have assets including a receivable, bank and cash, current asset, non-current asset, prepayments, fixed asset. Then we have liabilities of which includes payable, credit card, current liability, non-current liability, and we have equity which includes current year earnings and equity. Then we also have profit and loss account which includes income, other income, then expense accounts including depreciation, that is for asset depreciation, or then we have expense, then cost of revenue, and also we have off balance sheet. So we here we can provide change account name, and we can add account group for your chart of accounts, so that we can group some accounts. And we have accounting options including, that is, we can set default tags for your account, then we can add account tags, then account currency, then allow reconciliation, then whether it is depreciated, and we can also set security for your chart of accounts, that is by setting allowed journals. And we also have an option to set disallowed expense for your chart of account. So disallowed expenses are those expenses that cannot be deducted in the fiscal result but can be deducted in your bookkeeping result. So we can get the fiscal results in real time by setting disallowed expense categories and obtaining periodic changes. So we can set disallowed expense for your chart of accounts. So before that, we have to set a disallowed expense category. So here, when you come under configuration, you can see disallowed expense categories. So you can create categories, and you can set the code name company, and you can set rates here by giving a start date. So in order to view this menu, we have to install something from application, that is a disallowed expense. Okay, if you search for, you remove apps and search for disallowed expense, can see disallowed expense. So just enable that. So we have done a detailed video for that, that is disallowed expense. So when you add that and create expense, you can see the have a disallowed expense report here. So you can see that here. If you have done that, then we have then for our accounts, chart of accounts, we also have an option to set account groups. So when you create account groups and if you provide some code prefix, then accounts having codes within this range will be grouped automatically. So here that is group will be assigned automatically and that will be shown here. So here we can find that field group. So if you have created the group there and if you have set a code, that is code range, and accounts within that range, having codes within that range will be automatically assigned with that group and it will be shown here. So for that also we have done a video. Then you can see taxes, that is we can configure taxes. You can see some pre-configured taxes, and when you open one you can see you can provide tax name, tax computation, then we can activate it, then we can set tax scope for your tax, then tax type, then we can add definition lines and also include some advanced option. That is we can set a tax group. So we have also have done a video on configuring tax and how to set tax while purchasing or selling product. So so we have done a detailed video on configuration of taxes in Odoo 14, so you can check that. Then here we have our journals. So we have seen our journals, that is tax invoices, exchange difference, then point of sale and all. So we can create new journal and it is possible to provide journal name and we can select one of the type, journal type. According to that, some options will be provided here and some new tabs will be shown here. So if you select sales, according to that, some options will be shown here. And for bank and cash, you can see a new tab, that is payment configuration. And in Odoo 14, we have an option to set outstanding receipts account and outstanding payments account for your journal. So this option is only found for cash in bank. We have done a video on how to configure journal in Odoo 14. So please take that video. Then here we have our currency. As we have enabled multi-currency for our company, so we can activate more currency, we can create currency, we can set rates on currency. Here we can set rates. So at different dates we can set rate and we can manage exchange difference. Then we have a fiscal position which is used for tax mapping and account mapping. So we can set fiscal position on customer, that is contact, or on invoice. So here when you open you can see the tax mapping and account mapping tags. Then we have journal groups. So we can create journal groups and provide excluded journals here. So for that journals, this group will be excluded. Then here we have our account tags. So we can define account tags. So this includes like SGST, like IGST. So these things are pre-configured. That is, while you install your localization, these things will be added to your database. So you can see the applicability of each tag. So this can be used to generate the tax report. This is used in the tax report. And then you can see account groups that we have seen before. Then fiscal years, that is, we can configure financial years for your company. We can set start date and date for that financial year. Then we have payment accuracy. So it reads to your customer's payment to collect money effortless and track the payment status. So you can see them, some of payment accuracy available in Odoo. So you can see some of them are enabled and some of them are test mode and some are disabled. So you can create new payment accuracy by clicking create. So you can see we can add some fields, we can set configuration and message settings for your payment accuracy. So it is integrated to our website module. Then here we have saved payment data and payment icons, then payment transactions. So you can create new payment transaction. Then here you can see under management. So this part is very important. That is, here we can set asset models, deferred revenue models, so and deferred expense models. So asset models is used to uh, create asset entries faster. So we can organize, monitor, and sell the assets of an organization in a cost-effective way. So by monitoring assets and their current working conditions, it will help the business to understand loss or gain or equipment failures. So we can set depreciation to a particular duration, and single asset model can be used for creating multiple assets. So you can see one asset model is created, and here under accounting you can see the assets, all the created assets from here with asset name, then the first depreciation date, book value, depreciable value, and the status of the assets can be seen here. And there are different there is depreciation methods available in Odoo. So we have done a detailed video on asset management in Odoo 40. Then you can see deferred revenue models. So deferred revenue, that's basically unearned revenue, are payments made in advance by customers for products yet to deliver or services yet to render. So such payments are current liability for company. So the company cannot report them on the current profit or loss statement or income statement, since the payments will be effectively earned in future. So periodically, it will be added, revenue will be added. Then we have deferred expense model. So we can also see the deferred expense by clicking coming under accounting, and you can see the deferred expense, create a deferred expense, and you can see the entries here below. You can see the entries, expense board. Okay. Then here coming under accounting, you can see the deferred revenues, and you can see the revenue board here. When you come below, you can see the revenue board. Then we also have deferred expense model. So deferred expense means advance expense or prepaid expense. So we have already paid for unconsumed products or services yet to receive. So such costs are current asset for company or prepayments. So since it's already paid for products or services still to receive or that are get to be used, so company cannot report them on current profit or loss or income statement. So it will be effectively expense in future. That is periodically it will be added as expense monthly or yearly. For them also we can see, that is we can view the deferred expense created. So for that also we have done a video. Then we have cash rounding. So can create cash rounding. Then we have a budgetary position. So we have seen that we have enabled budget management in configuration settings. So we can manage budget, like we can set budgetary positions. So here inside that we can add expense or income accounts. At least one account from income, that is a chart of accounts, need to be added here. Then this budgetary positions can be added to our budgets. That is when you create a budget, you can add those budgetary position from here. So here you can see the budget lines. And for budget also we have done a video, that is how to manage budget management or Odoo. Then here we have our tax report. That is we can configure our tax report. We can set the name, tag, then code for your tax report. Then we can also configure the financial reports. So you can see our financial reports, that is profit and loss, balance sheet, executive summary. So it is possible to edit the financial report. What all report lines can add here, then available filters, options, report definition. So here when you click add line, you can add lines for your financial report. Then we have seen the disallowed expense categories before. Then here we have analytical items. So we can see the entries. These are the analytical entries or analytical items related to analytical accounts. So you can see for different project, you can see the items, the total amount. So when you open, you can see in detail the analytical entry, amount, then the accounting detail can be seen here. Then here we can configure analytical accounting. That is analytical accounts. So when you click on this, you can configure and create new analytical account here. So you can see for each analytical account, the company, add related company, then reference, then so from here we can configure and create new analytical account, and you can see the name of the analytical account, the reference, then related customer, company, then debit, credit, and balance of each analytical account. So when you click create, you can see a page to add the analytical account name, reference, customer, then group. Then we can add budget items here, and we can also manually create budgetary position from here. Then if you, after creating accounts, and can see the cost, revenue, and can manage budget of analytical account. Then it's also possible to configure analytical account groups, which can be used inside our analytical account. Can see there are three groups already created: product, projects, departments, internal. Then we have our account analytical tags that we have uh, that I have told before. So if you want to split the product's price stage wise, divide an amount of payments amount to several departments by its corresponding value, and you can split by percentage. So you can create departments as analytical accounts and create analytical tag, and in that tag we can define the percentage, that is percentage for splitting or division. So when you open tags here, we can edit this and we can add tag name. And if you click this analytical distribution, then we can split amount to different analytical account. So from here we can select the analytical account, and then we can add the amount to that is split percentage. So here we can add 50, and for this account we can add 50. So the expense or income will be split. So income or expense will be splitted based on this percentage. So this tax can be set on the accounts, and we can split amounts. You can also add these analytical tags while you when you create sale order or purchase order. Then we can set analytic default rules. So we can set analytical default rules by setting some conditions including product, user, start date, and company. And we can also provide the account and tags to define the rule. Then here we have our product categories. That is, we can create and configure product groups or product categories. So after configuring these things, we can come back to our other menus. That is, here under customers you can create invoice. So when you click on invoice, you can see all the created invoices, and you can see an onboarding panel which is to create company data, invoice layout, and we can see the option to create invoice from here. So here if you click create, and it is possible to view a page form to create invoice. So you can provide customer name, and you can set GST treatment. Then here we can add invoice lines. So here we can see the label of a product. Then we can set account, that is income account, then entity account, entity tags, then quantity, then unit of measure of this product, price, tax can be viewed here. So you can see this is our company's tax, that is GST 5%, and you can also see subtotal of this invoice. So when you confirm invoice, you can see the draft state is moved to posted. So the invoice is posted. Okay, so below you can see the total amount and amount due because the customer haven't made the payment. So if the customer have made the payment, we can just click on this register payment and then create payment. So here we can set the journal payment method, whether it is manual, batch deposit, or through SCPA debit, direct debit. And we can see the payment date, total amount, and we can change the currency from here as we have enabled multi-currency. So according to the rate, the amount will be changed, and then click create payment. So we can also create, after creating payment, we can add credit note, or before payment also we can add credit note. And then when you make payment, you can see the total amount, total tax, then you can see it is reconciled. So when you click on this, you can see it is reconciled. Then if you have set any percentage, then also can be seen here. So we have discount type. Okay, so now you can see our due date is 30 days. Okay, so the payment is done. Then here we have our credit notes, that is we can create credit notes to customers when there is an issue with the created invoice amount, or if the customers return the uh, products due to damage. So can create credit note from here. And we have seen we can also create credit note directly, that is from the invoice. So for that also we have done a video, that is how to create credit notes in Odoo 40. Then we can see customer receipts here. As we can create customer receipts, just click create, and same as the form that is invoice form, we can add customer name, then GST treatment, and add invoice line. Then we can set journal and currency for this receipt and confirm the receipt. Then here we have our payments. So can manage and you can create customer payments. So if you click create, you can see page to add mention the payment type, whether to receive money or whether to send money. So when you click send money, you can see that the payment method is removed from here. And if you receive money, you can see you can set the payment method, and here we can set the partner type, whether money is received by customer or vendor. Then if it is customer, according to that we can select the customer or vendor from here, and we can mention the destination account. Then we can mention whether this is an internal transfer or not. Then we can set the amount, total amount to be paid, and we can change the currency from here. Then we can set the dates from here, and we can set journal. So here we can set the bank or cash journal, and you can set the payment method, then receive bank account, and after that you can save this and confirm the payment. So when you confirm, you can see it is posted. So you can group payments and then batch them. So if you select batch type and bank, that is payment method. So inbound means customer batch payment. So when you select inbound, and here when you add line, we can select the customer payments and then batch them together. So here we have selected manual. So if you add line, then manual payments only can be selected from the options. So it is batch payments make reconciliation in a fast manner. Then here you can see follow-up reports. So we have seen that before. Then direct debit mandates. So here we can create a new direct debit customer mandate, so that it can automatically collect money on her account. So when you click this, you can see customer name, then the IBAN account, journal, then we can set start date and end date. Then we can view all the products that can be sold, and you can view all the customers, and we can create new customer by clicking create button, providing a lot of details, including contact details and sales, purchase and accounting details. Then under vendors also we can see all the vendor bills. So you can create new by clicking create button, and here you can provide the vendor name, and then GST treatment. Then we can add product here, and we can set the journal. You can see this by default vendor bills. I can change the currency and can see the accounting date, and we can confirm this bill from here. So you can see this bill is paid. Then we can create refunds for a vendor. That is, if you want to refund the bill, you can create refunds. So just click on this and can create refund, which is a reverse bill. So we have already done a video on how to create a refund in Odoo 14, so you can check that. And then we have our vendor receipts. You can create receipts for vendors also. Then vendors also can make payments from here, same as we have seen for our customer. So by default, you can see to send money, and you can see partner type is set as vendor. So you can change that. Then here we can see our batch payments for vendors. So you can batch vendor bills. Then here you can see employee expenses. So this is new in accounting order 14. That is, we can manage employee expenses. We can create new expenses from here. And here we can add the expense report summary, and we can add the expense product here, and then we can attach documents and submit to manager, which he can approve. Then we can also upload expenses by clicking this button. So you can see one expense is approved. So to manage expenses, we have to install expense module, and then you can see products, then vendors. So here you can see this uh, filtered by can be purchased. Then here we can see all vendors, and we can create vendors. Then under accounting, we can see the journal entries. So journal entries display all transactions inside your organization. So you can see the all entries with the date of entry, then the related partner, reference, journal, company, and total amount, and the status of that journal, whether it is posted or draft. So these are related to our deferred expense, asset management, and all. Then here we have journal items. You can see all the journal items inside your for your entries. So the date, journal entry in which the item is added. Then you can see the journal name, the account, and here you can see the debit and credit. Then if analytical account is added for that item, that also can be seen here. Then here we have journals. You can view journals of sales, purchase, bank and cash, and miscellaneous. So when you click sales, you can see all journal entries of sales and respective journal items with account, and you can see the debit and credit of each account. Each item can be seen here. And with the tax amount, amount in currency, and tax grid set on the tax. In the same way for a purchase, bank and cash also, you can see the journals. Then we have ledgers, that is general ledger and partner ledger. So when you open general ledger, you can see displays all the transactions in your organization from all accounts. That is all accounts defined in your chart of accounts. You can see the debit, credit, and balance of each account and amount in currency. Then same way we have a partner ledger. So we can see the ledgers related to a partner, that is the details of current open balance of any customer or vendor can be viewed in partner ledger. Further also you can see the balance and credit debit. Then we have automatic transfers. Can create automatic transfers by clicking create button, and you can add the automatic transfer origin accounts, and then frequency of this automatic transfer, whether it need to be done monthly, yearly, or quarterly. And we have to set a journal for this automatic transfer also. Then we have seen about budgets, assets, and deferred revenue and deferred expenses. So these things are very important in accounting module. And I have said before, we have done a detailed video on these topics. You can check those videos. Then here we have a reconciliation that we have seen. Then we have our tax adjustments. So here we can provide the reason for tax adjustment, and we can add a report line here, then amount to be adjusted and the accounts. So you can add the debit credit account and the options like including the journal in which adjustment need to be done, then the date. So at this date, in this journal, the entry will be, that is a tax adjustment entry will be created, and we can post that by clicking this. Then we have log dates. So this is used to set log dates for non-advisors, so that after setting log dates, the non-advisor cannot make any changes in accounts of the current organization. It is used in case of uh, auditing time. So you can set the log date for non-advisors, log date for all users, and tax log date. Then here comes our reporting section. So here we have a lot of reporting, that is general statements, which includes profit and loss, balance sheet, executive summary, and close cash flow statement. So our profit and loss report, it contains a report containing total income and total expense for a specific period of time. So looking at this report, we can evaluate the performance of a company at a particular period. So you can see here 2020, the performance of a company, the total income, total expense, and net profit can be seen here. So when you click on this, you can see this is a Popo widget. You can see the name formula just to calculate this. And we have an option to compare. That is, we can compare with previous period. So you can see it's compared with last year. And we can see the report of this month, this year, and this quarter. Then we can filter by journals, then analytical account, then posted or unposted entries. We can include unposted entries too. Then we also have a report for our balance sheet. So it reflects companies, that is assets, liabilities, and shareholder, that is shareholder equity at a specific point of time. So you can see that here separately. You can see the assets, liabilities, and equity. This can also be compared with previous year or previous period. Then we have our executive summary that defines the business plans and financial report of company. So you can see the profitability, balance sheet, everything is added here, and we can print XLS report. Then here we have a cash flow statement. So using this cash flow statement, one can easily identify the changes in balance sheet accounts and income affects cash and equivalents. Then we have our partner reports, which includes partner ledger, age receivable, and age payable. So partner ledger, we can see the initial balance, debit and credit of each partner. Then here we have our age receivable, so which it is used to determine the financial health of a company's customer. So it works as a periodic report categorizing company's account receivable based on the length of time an invoice has been outstanding. So you can see the outstanding invoice amount, and here we have age payable. So we can see we determine which invoice are overdue for payment. So here we can see the overdue payments then of a company. Then we have audit reports, which includes general ledger. That is, it holds a complete history of financial transaction of a company used to prepare financial statements of your company. So it is very helpful to prepare financial statements. You can see the balance of each account here. Each accounting chart of the account. Then here we have our trial balance. So it contains the name of each nominal ledger account and the value of that nominal ledger balance. So each account holds either a credit or debit balance. Then here we have consolidated journals, which is a combination of all journals belonging to different companies. So you can see different journals here: balance, credit, and debit. Then we have tax report, that is to calculate an entity's income earned with the amount of tax payable to the government or organization or the potential taxpayers. So can see here GST, IGST, and others. So we have seen before, we can configure tax report by coming to configuration. That is, here you can see we can configure a tax report. What all lines need to be added here? Can do that. So you can see the balance of each tax. Then we have journals audit. So here we can add the target moves, whether to include all posted entries or all entries. And then we can sort entries by date or journal entry number. Then we can include with currency. Then we can set start date, end date. Then we can see all some journals are added here. So then we can see the company name and we can print this journal audit. Then we have management of, that is invoice management. So when you click on this, you can see our invoice analysis. And we can select different measures from here. That is, we can include average price or discount or product category. And also count can be set. So, and it can be filtered. So by default, it is filtered by invoiced and customers. So you can change from here and you can also group this. And we also have a pivot view from here. And it is also possible to insert our invoice analysis to spreadsheet. Then we have analytic report. So here we can see all the analytic accounts and the reference and the related partner and the total amount in each analytic account. Then we have a new report, that is unrealized currency gains or losses. So this will display all open amounts on your balance sheet that need or could be revaluated. So this information is grouped by currency and their respective accounts. So here you can see there are three currency report, can see for three currency. And when you unfold this, that is, you can see the account, then general ledger, and you can see four columns, that is balance in foreign currency, balance at operation date rate, balance at current rate adjustment. And here you can see we can change the exchange rate, and we can also make adjustment for the for your entries if you want to adjust the values. So we have done a detailed video on this unrealized currency gains or losses reports. You can check that. Then we have a depreciation schedule. So here you can see the depreciation account and the asset can be seen here. The acquisition date, then the first depreciation, then the method used for depreciation and the rate in percentage. And you can see the assets, then depreciation amount, then you can see the overall book value of the assets. And it's also possible to keep a XLS report. That is, we can export the XLS report of this depreciation schedule. Then we have displayed expenses that we have seen before. Then we have budgets analysis. So you can analyze your budget of a company. And here you can see it is grouped by budgets, and you can see all the budgetary position. And by looking at this, we can analyze the mm, practical amount, the real amount spent by company on these accounts. And you can see the theoretical amount and achievement in each budgetary position. Then you can also see a report for product margin analysis, that is product margins. So here we can find option to filter product margins by date. So here we can set from and to date, and also we have option that is to set the invoice date, select the invoice date. So we can select the invoice date whether we need to view the paid, open and paid, or draft open and paid. So you can select that and then click open margins. So you can see the report of product margins with the name of the product, internal reference, then the average sale unit price, then invoiced in sale, total cost, purchased amount, then total margin, expected margin of the product, and then the total margin rate in percentage and expected margin rate, margin in percentage. And for this, we also have a graph view. And from here, we can change the measures to volume, height, count. So we have covered the reporting and we have covered all the options and menus is available in accounting. And if you have any doubts regarding this video, please add your valuable comments below and you can check the description box to see the related videos. If you are interested in knowing more about this or looking for any Odoo implementation or customization in your business, drop your request to odoo@cybrosys.com.